table, local geography urban lookup, to this layer right here, so that when we click on an area we can see the urban category. What we're going to do now is actually map the different urban categories. So the way we do that is we double click on the actual layer. So you can right click or double click and you get different options. And we did joins before, so this is how we saw this join, and we can see this join is still existing right here where we join these two tables together. We can go to style, and right now we have the style is that every single local geography gets the same color, and this is this option right here, single symbol. There are many other options and we'll explore some of these. So we can see categorized, so we can click on categorized and we can see what the column that we want to use for mapping, and we want to use this one right here, urban category. You'll notice here that the name of the table that the data came from, local geography urban LU, is in the front, and then the field name, and that way you know where the data came from, where this information came from. So right here we click on urban, and nothing happens here until you press the classify button. So you press classify, and there you see all the different options, and you can see a color assigned to each one. The information here on value and legend is exactly the same by default, so you can see that as I move this further over and make it easier to read, we can see that it's identical in both instances. So for metro, I may want to change my symbol, so all I have to do for that is double click on metro, and then I have the option of clicking on here to choose a color. So maybe I'll choose red right there and press OK, and now metro is red. And now my metro influence area, this one right here, I want to maybe make it orange, so I'll double click there and select orange and press OK. And now I want to look at my urban area and I want to select purple, and I see a purple right there. But if I didn't see a purple, one of the options that I have is that instead of clicking here to select the color, I can double click here to make a color interactively. So here I'm making purple by clicking somewhere purple, and I make this lighter or darker by clicking right there. So I can make this purple like that and say OK. And if I want to remember this color, then I can press the save button. Now you notice that I clicked here on corners. What it's going to do is add these 4 little things at the edge. If I had chosen dotted, it would have tried to do this kind of option, etc. So I can press cancel, and that goes back to normal. So this is what happens when you make a mistake and you accidentally click on one of these things. The patterns show up in the color that you choose. So in this case I will be more careful, and I will click right there. I'll select purple, and now see that purple has no weird patterns like this dotted or wine or any of those options. And if I want to save this color so that I can choose this purple consistently for the urban areas, I can press save here, and I can give it urban purple and say OK. And that way anytime that I need to map the urban areas, I can choose urban purple, and so I say OK. And now you see that the urban color is that purple. And then we can see moderate urban influence, so I'll choose a light purple. So I'll double click here again and choose a purple, and maybe something lighter like so, and say OK. And now maybe I can save this and say urban influence purple, or whatever name you want to give it. So say OK, save. Oops, we already saved it. And say OK. And there we are. And now we can say that our rural will use dark green for rural, and that should be in the list. So there's a dark green right there. And we'll say OK. And then we will say rural remote, and we will use maybe an unexpected color to make it stand out. So we'll use a blue to say that that's rural remote, to make it really stand out. And then we say rural center area, and that seems to be a light green, and so the default for that one appears to be OK. And for anything else that doesn't match, we'll choose a color that will be very obvious that is wrong, so we'll say that. And we'll press apply. And we can see here that we have our urban areas in green. In blue we have the urban remotes and the the urban areas, urban influence, the metro influence, and then in the lighter green are urban areas where they have a larger town or city that puts it in the category in between urban and rural. So we have that, and it's quite easy to map categories, as you can see, and it's even easy to go back and replicate these colors, because we can save the colors, and we'll know that we'll choose exactly the same color of purple, for example, next time. And if you want to do this for every single category, you can save these colors as symbols, and then you will always ensure that every map you make will use exactly the same colors.